I'm Molly Cooper, and this is a snapshot episode where we bring you inside scoops from the travel, design and creative spheres. It's the same Curator Spaces content, now in coffee break conversations. Today we're talking all about hospitality marketing with Isaac Twidale, the founder of Matineé Agency, who do marketing for high-end hospitality businesses. He's going to tell me all about the 3 C's of his sold-out system for hosting sell-out events. Isaac, it's such a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Welcome to Creative Spaces.
Molly, thank you so much for having me.
Not at all, and it's looking very Christmassy behind you. I have to say, that wreath and baubles behind your head.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a nightmare for my photo shoot today. There's no point having headshots with wreaths and baubles in.
Yeah, very seasonal. But hey, it's that time of the year. Embrace it.
I will try.
Yeah, we'll try. Well, before we get into sold out events, I want to hear a bit about you and your background and how you've ended up running sellout events.
Well, okay, well, I suppose it depends how far you want to go back.
Yeah.
I guess it all started when I was at secondary school, and we'd have an end of year ball called the Snowball, creatively, of course. Yes, absolutely. Oh. Full circle moment. Yeah. 10 years ago as well.
No way.
Yeah. So a century of doing this, I suppose. And the after party was called the Aftermath. And somehow, actually, weirdly enough, the school almost endorsed it, which is great for us, terrible from them. It was a shit show. We'd all club together and everyone would chuck 20 quid in, like the 370, probably about 400 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds. And then we would buy all this booze and we'd find a venue and then we'd book buses, and it was like this crazy time. Yeah. And I organised it badly. May I say, for anyone from the grammar school who's listening, it was badly organised, but it was organised, it happened. Yeah. And just from there, really, I guess, ignited my passion for event organising. And I went to university and I did all sorts of unmentionable things. Yeah. However, one of the mentionables was organising events, and that's where the events business started. That's really where my first business started. And that was called In the Mist Events. Ooh, and we had this model where I would find, if you know about the dance music scene, like different genres have different cultures, and people are very passionate about a single genre. And I went out and I would find DJs that wanted to be brand managers. Okay. So they would help us recruit promoters. They would help us with, they would really lead the brand development. And so we ended up throwing like 5 separate brand sort of events at university. And it was really good fun. It's really hard to make money out of events. And it's a bit of a shocker not knowing how many people are going to turn up. It's so stressful. And, eventually I decided to get out of it. My dentist said, Isaac, would you like to do my marketing for me? And I'm going to pay you the same amount every single month. And I said, that sounds fucking brilliant. Yes. Yes, please. I would love that. And this was actually just coming off the back of, like, essentially what we'd done is we'd had some success and just thought, well, the thing to do is to just throw more events, bigger events. And we ended up oversaturating this very small market, which was Loughborough Market Town. And essentially our promoters didn't know which event they were promoting. Our customers didn't know which one to go to. Yeah. Why would they go to one when they could go to another? And we ended up going from like 500 ravers a week to none. And so when my dentist threw me that lifeline, I was like, yes. I'm
going to get on that life raft and sail away.
Yes, see you later. So on that basis, we started doing the marketing agency, which was really just organic social. And like, this was before TikTok and all the viral organic reach. And so we're like, okay, organic sucks. Let's do paid. And so we focused on paid. Then I lost the business partner. COVID happened. And then I set up again by myself, all by myself in 2021, doing the advertising, and it has been running ever since. And in the most recent times, I have become entirely focused on high-end hospitality.
Okay, well, let's get into that then. So you now work with brands. Is it all hospitality or is it a real mixture?
Yeah, so it's basically experiential. It's still a startup agency, so we're quite broad. We're quite happy to take on most people, but the common theme is experience, high end, and actually specifically looking to target a younger demographic, a younger affluent demo, because it's that 25 to 40 demo that everyone wants to access, but it's very hard to. So
So you help them tap into that through these amazing live events. And you've got this system, which you now have, which helps you make sure they are all a resounding success that sells out in seconds.
Yeah, well, that's what we want.
I'd love to hear about that then, the 3 C's.
The 3 C's to achieve the Glastonbury effect.
The Glasto Effect, which launched yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah, and sells out within minutes. Literally. And I completely forgot that it launched yesterday and I didn't buy a ticket, so that sucks.
Next year.
I've been saying that for so long, Molly. It's terrible, but we'll get there in the end. But yeah, the 3 C's, the sold out system. This is a system that I developed personally because I was seeing all these hospitality venues, whether they are clubs, restaurants, hotels, venues, events, everything in between, are experiencing the same problems. And there needed to be a solid system that helped people tackle that. And if you are listening at home right now, if you are in the car, in the gym, sweating it out, and you're involved in hospitality, you want to run your own event, this is a surefire way for making sure that is a raving success, specifically amongst the younger crowd, the young affluent set. And so what we have is something called the Curate, Cultivate, and Catalyse model.
Right.
So 3 core pillars, actioned in that order, starting with Curate. So Curate's all about curating the right crowd, getting the right crowd in. We have the first section, which is creative overhaul. Okay. You need to be positioned correctly, and your creative needs to communicate that position. And it also needs to impress people. You need to be high quality creative. It needs to stand out. And so when I talk about positioning, really I'm talking about how many other businesses are doing what you do. How do you present yourself to the customer? Because if you can show yourself to be serving a niche that no one else is serving, that's good positioning. If you can be shown to be doing something that no one else is doing, like a type of event, whatever, that's good position. If you could do both at once, that's great positioning. And the reason it's so important is that you really supercharge your metrics. If you offer something that is unique, then it has high click-through rate, so you get lots of traffic. If you offer something that's super beneficial, then you're going to get high conversion rate. This is what happens when you bring the two together. You serve a niche that no one else is serving in a unique way. So moving on from that, that's sort of like the foundation. You then want to talk about traffic, like bringing traffic together. Now, there are loads of ways that you can drive loads and loads of traffic. The most accessible and the easiest to optimize and the easiest to do at scale that everyone can do is definitely influencers and paid media. And paid search, so paid ads. Now, listen, you can do SEO, you can do PR, you can do organic, you can do in-house. We could stick a load of posters on the walls here and that would work. But in terms of doing things at scale, quickly, accessibly, influencers, amazing. Paid ads, incredible. So making sure, listen, if you have a website that's converting at a percentage, so the number of visitors that turn up, sign up for the event, if you just 100x the traffic going to that website, you're going to make more sales. So, and listen, I know it's not that easy. I know you have to do it profitably and that takes a lot of time. Trust me, that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. But that concept of just massively increasing traffic is so important. And then, so the last part of this curation pillar is 10x funnels. But the easiest way to understand this, right? So a funnel, first and foremost, a funnel is the process that your customers take to go from eyes on a screen, clicks on an ad, to loyal customers, if not advocates for your brand. That's what a funnel is. Whether it's, it's the makeup of the ad and the website and the email and the, everything, everything that happens, the posters on the walls, the way that we talk to each other, that's a funnel. So imagine it like this. If I'm in like a clapped out Fiat and you're in a Ferrari, and we race.
I'm glad you got the comparison the right way around there.
Well, I know how to read a room. So you're in the fast car, I'm in the slow car. And if we race, you're going to win. And it doesn't matter how much traffic I fill into the engine or petrol or diesel, whether it's rocket fuel or whether I spend £1 million on advertising. The point is that the better vehicle is always going to win. So 10x Funnels is all about making sure that your marketing engine is up to speed.
Got it.
Curation, creative, traffic, 10x Funnels.
10x Funnels.
And so the other two pillars are also split into their three constituent parts. So cultivation, this is probably the most overlooked thing about hospitality and event marketing. Cultivation is taking about the customers that you acquired in curation, so that's acquisition, and then retaining them, that's retention. And so that's really important because it is, people throw out all sorts of metrics, but people like to say it's 35 times cheaper to retain a customer than to acquire one, which is, it's broadly true. If you're constantly having to acquire 500 new people every time you put on a 500 person event, it's going to be really fucking expensive. So cultivation, first of that 3-part series in cultivation is grow your hub. The funny thing is about hubs and stuff is that, hospitality businesses are amazing at this in real life. It is simply community development. Hospitality, we're sat in a private members club now. They're so good at building communities offline, and they are really shit at doing it online.
Interesting.
The things with growing hubs is that there are many ways that we can do this online, and we've been doing them as sort of Gen Zs, let's call ourselves Gen Zs. Group chats. We could have a branded app that only our customers are able to go onto. We could have forums. We could have private Facebook groups. There's many options, but the point is finding a community space that we can all converge to online to share thoughts, feelings, ideas, events that are happening. People are not doing this. With kind of the best that we get with it at the moment in hospitality is like a Instagram page, and that, to me, that's more of a bulletin board than necessarily a community space. So cultivation is split into 3 parts, which is growing your hub, direct mastery, and ROI. Direct mastery is probably the most familiar sort of method we have for retaining customers. It is simply communicating directly with customers, capturing their information to be sending them emails, messages, chatbots, phone calls, mail, smoke signals, carrier pigeon,
whatever you like,
telepathic, sort of in the stars, all of the above and more, to basically tell them about your amazing offers that are on board.
Got it.
This is sort of the conduit to which we communicate the rewards, offers, and incentives. We don't need to overcomplicate direct mastery, but it's just that concept of like, are you doing it? Like, are you communicating with your customers regularly? Are they hearing about the amazing events, offers? Are they hearing about like, hey, it's your last opportunity to buy the ticket at this price or at all? These things, they're not just as simple as clicking your fingers and they're done. So are you doing them? Are you doing to a good standard? Is it pre-planned? Is it done to in a way that is getting you a good return on investment?
I think one issue with that is that, and I'm exactly the same, I'm always like, oh God, I've posted this like 3 times and I feel like I'm spamming everyone's feed and like everyone hates me because I'm just like blah, 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 the same thing every single day. Whereas actually it's like you need 7 different touch points of the same message for it to even like hit home, don't you?
Yeah.
And no one is seeing every post. No one is, and if they do see it, it's popping past in a scroll.
Yeah.
So you need way more touch points than you think. And you need to like get out of your head that people aren't there being like, she's just posted that same message the 3rd time in a trot,
Yeah.
So I feel that resonates with me.
No, you absolutely do need those extra touch points. The reality is our concentration, our attention span is so oversaturated and commoditized that if you're not hammering it home across the whole funnel, then you are you're going to have a real hard time getting through, cutting through the noise. And I'm so ADHD, so I'm the perfect example of someone that needs to be told something 100 times. So if I get it in an email, in a WhatsApp group, on the social media page, and maybe hit with an ad, then maybe I'll remember it. So
exactly.
And also people aren't thinking all those horrible thoughts about you. You're projecting now.
I need to get out of my head.
You need to talk to your therapist about that, because I don't want to hear it. It's not of interest to me. I charge extra for therapy. Okay. So that really leads us on to ROI. So rewards, offers, and incentives. It's, again, pretty explanatory, but it's about rewarding behaviors that you understand to be beneficial to your marketing outcomes. So it could be, how long has somebody been a part of the group? It's like, have they got the 2-year anniversary coming up? Are they posting regularly? Are they engaging with other community members regularly? That sort of thing. Again, just an offer, just to reward them for being a customer, just to tell them that they've got an event coming up and they're getting first dibs on tickets. Those rewards, offers, and incentives build loyalty like you wouldn't imagine. Now, what it isn't for is referrals and advocacy, because that's got its own special little thing.
Okay, we haven't got there quite yet.
But we're just about to. That's the beauty of the circle.
What a segue.
So segue, we go from cultivation into catalyzation. So again, pause. Let's think about what we've done here. We've done curation to make sure that we're acquiring customers that we love. We've then gone on to cultivation to make sure that we're keeping those customers forever. So how do we go from that to an absolute sales frenzy, to being like the place in town to be, to blowing up and getting more customers than you could possibly ever deal with?
To becoming Glasto.
Exactly. And I've got it worked out.
Okay.
Everyone's been trying for ages. Michael Eavis, it took him 50 years. Isaac's got it in a single pillar on his sold out system.
Catalyse.
Yes. You just got to catalyze, baby. We've got raving ambassadors. We've got own the narrative. And then we've only got longevity. So let's start with longevity, because it's the least impactful and it's usually what I bring to the table for clients. But if you're listening in at home, in the car, in the bath, at the gym, you should be considering longevity, because longevity is this concept about how am I going to make sure that I can be really fucking good at marketing forever. Let's look at it this way. Marketing develops in super short cycles, specifically digital marketing, because it's digital. The digital world evolves at such a fast pace that if you are not updating your systems and processes and knowledge base every 3 months, you are getting left behind. You're getting your lunch eaten by competitors. Now, the good news is that everybody, the market average, the industry average is always below the cutting edge. So if you start saying to yourself, I am not going to update our practices once a year like we're currently doing, which is shit, by the way, because then you've got, a short space of time to rapidly get caught up with everybody else. It's costly, it's ineffective, it's confusing, it takes loads of resources, it's unrealistic. If you instead go once every 3 months, we are going to engage with, let's say, Matineé Agency, service that we provide to help people stay at the top of their game. Fantastic. Or we're going to go onto Udemy and find a load of courses and make sure that our staff and our marketing managers are up to date. There's loads of educational options. It's education. But the next two are the most important. So we'll go to, let's start with owning the narrative. So owning the narrative it can be a little bit of a catch-all for everything that just doesn't get covered in the system otherwise. But really, I think the most interesting part of it is this sort of slightly more guerrilla tactic to owning how people talk about your brand and your event when you're not there.
Okay.
The word of mouth effect. And really, we can do this through a few different methods. We've got some very old methods like PR. It's a PR. PR,
darling.
PR. We basically do a load of PR and everybody starts saying the things that we want them to say about us. You can do it through influencers. You can do it through all the traditional routes. But the other one would be something like something a little bit more covert, like meme culture. You get a lot of, I don't know if you've seen Signet Ring Co.
No, what is
or
this?
Signet Ring Social. It's basically a Instagram page for yuppies who like to talk about just rich kid things. And so places like Goodwood and Ascot and stuff get posted on there all the time. The way that Signet Ring Social is talking about your brand is actually how the younger generation is talking about your brand. Imagine if you did a paid for post with Signet Ring Social. You're like, here's the narrative we're trying to push. You let them do their thing. They're a little bit naughty. They like to do these like Ascot starter packs that have various items in there. I can leave you up to you to connect the dots of what might be then in there. But there's always things like the fascinators and the Land Rovers and so on and so forth, Moët bottles. Or if you want to get really into it, you could create your own unaffiliated unaffiliated, unofficial meme page that is a bit edgy, it is a bit racy, but you're owning it. So like if Ascot created their own Ascot meme page, but like pretended it was unaffiliated, they can at that point actually push the narrative.
And is this a thing?
Yeah, of course. Wow. It's very guerrilla tactic. But people engaging in the meme. The problem is most big legacy brands do memes really badly.
That's the thing, isn't
really
it?
cringe.
Yeah.
But it's because they don't feel permission to do it how it needs to be done. As much as I don't like Ryanair and Duolingo's TikTok because it's just so fucking lame, it works a charm. Yeah. It really works. But you would never see Ascot doing that. But they should.
Yeah.
And that's how they could. Owning the narrative. The last thing that I want to talk about just really quickly is scarcity, because scarcity is really important in hospitality marketing and even more so in event marketing. It's, again, a bit of a guerrilla tactic. It's a psychological warfare, psyops. And really what we want to talk about is what I call the scarcity mix. The scarcity mix is unique experience, limited availability, exclusive access, ticket tiers, and high demand. So those are the 5 different areas of scarcity and exclusivity. And how we can timeline those out is very simple. Basically we look at, let's say we've got 4 weeks to launch. So or 4 weeks till the event. So we've got launch on week 1. We want to talk about the limited availability of the tickets. We want to talk about how unique the experience is. You can't get this anywhere else. We then want to start talking about like exclusive access. Here you get first dibs on these tickets. Different ticket tiers, time to get these new tickets or else you're going to run out. So that's week 2 is like the engage phase. We want to talk about how high in demand these things are. Then we can look at week 3, which is urgency, building that urgency, talk about the time sensitivity, ticket tiers are starting to disappear. We've got the progress update on those ticket tiers. And then we get to the week 4, which is the final push. And we say, this is your last chance. We can start doing countdowns and we want to do the final availability update. And of course, by event day, if not a little bit before event day, you really want to be able to say that the tickets are completely sold out.
Interesting.
So that's owning the narrative. The last piece of the puzzle, raving fans, raving ambassadors.
Yeah.
How do you get people creating buzz around basically, we spoke about acquisition in curation. How do we get our customers to do our acquisition for us? And it's as simple as creating referral programs, ambassador programs, incentivizing that by giving them rewards and stuff, creating shareable content that people want to share, competitions, or just like, I feel proud to share this. And when it comes to advocacy, I have sort of an advocacy mix. And for the advocacy mix, we talk about shareable content, referral programs, advocacy content, and recruiting superstars. So like, let's say I'm an amazing fan of Homegrown Club, which is where we are today, who have very kindly let us record today. Shout out Marcus and Jessica. They let's say they see me as a super fan, even though I'm not an influencer, they should recruit me to essentially become an influencer for them. So it's about having these different touch points of advocacy that can really allow your customers to do your customer acquisition for you. So that's the last piece.
Boom. Mic drop moment. I feel like we've done a lot of content. I feel like we've covered a lot of milestones in this chat. Wow, I feel like I need to host an event straight away. Yeah,
well, you should.
All into practice.
I'm sure it would be sold out within days.
Well, now I know the 9 rings. It bloody well should be.
Lord of the Rings over here.
I guess just as a sort of finishing note, if someone's listening to this, maybe they're a marketing manager, maybe they're planning an event, and they're like, oh, this really resonates, I want to do this. What's one really easy way for them to get started? Whether that's a resource or a tip or an action, what would you say they should start with? Yeah,
absolutely. So specifically within those 3 things, within the 3 pillars of the sold out system, I would encourage people to really focus in on their positioning and think about your funnel as well. Make sure that there aren't any bottlenecks in your funnel. If you're driving a Ferrari, it's going to be so much easier for you to get enormous amounts of sales.
I love it. Well, a note to finish on.
Yeah.
We do, of course, have a closing tradition. I've got some quick fire questions for you.
Okay, here we go.
Let's give them a whirl.
Yeah, sure.
What is your favourite annual event?
Royal Ascot.
Really?
Yeah, it has to be, yeah.
I feel like you've been hating on Ascot all this chat.
No, I haven't been
fan.
hating on Ascot. No, cut that. That isn't. It'll cut the bits where I have been. Royal Ascot's one of the cigar events, and it's you know what? I love all of the cigar events. So Royal Henry Royal Regatta, Polo in the Park, all fantastic events. But Royal Ascot takes the cake.
Okay, and if you could have a VIP ticket or backstage pass to any event, what would it be?
Oh, Jesus. What, coming up or in the past?
Ever.
Now we're talking. Okay, I'm just going to have to be quicker on this, aren't I? I would probably like one of the Formula One things, There's all, in the paddock, if I get a paddock pass. But actually, no, VIP, probably the Queen's coronation back in 1954, maybe?
Wow, amazing.
Was that correct?
I'm not
1954.
going to fact check you. Yeah, great shout. Wasn't expecting that.
VIP backstage pass where I can see literally anything. Yeah, of course.
See the holy anointing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, do I get to chop a few pints with her afterwards?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Definitely.
Sherries and you're off. Yeah.
Maybe squeeze out Philip before. Or was he in the picture by then?
Oh, yeah, he definitely was.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, and on the flip side, what's the worst event you've ever been to?
Oh, well, that's really easy to answer because it's the event that I hosted that nobody turned up to. Oh. So I've been through the trenches.
Yeah.
Just again, stupid mistakes, oversaturating market, putting it on at the worst time possible, not doing any marketing. But yeah, no, that's. But also, I fucking hate Beer Keller in Nottingham. It's Fair enough. When everyone stands on the benches, it's like organised fun. It's like, right, everyone, now's the time we stand on the bench. Hate it with a passion. I'm like,
okay,
this is fucking lame.
Gosh, we touched a nerve there.
Don't like Beer Keller.
Okay, so you don't like Beer Keller.
Maybe if we were in Germany and it was authentic, but when we're in Notts and everyone's like, you can imagine. It's everyone's in their trap style Hoodrich jackets and we're stood and fucking dancing to Cotton Eye Joe.
Beer Keller Nottingham a bit of a wine.
Well, miss them all. I'm sure there's more than just Nottingham. I'm not into it. It's very NPC activity, if you ask me. But
okay, what are 3 things that all good events need then? In that case,
obviously curation, catalysation, and cultivation. No, they need an incredible crowd. Mm-hmm. They do need an incredible crowd.
Yeah,
and. It obviously depends on the event, but let's say we're talking about a music event, it's all about having an incredible DJ and proper lineup management, because I went to a warehouse project the other day and it was clearly the lineup was curated based on people taking lots of drugs, because it was just really hard drum and bass from the minute you walked in to the minute you walked out. That's 8 hours and there's no progression to the lineup. So an incredible crowd. If it's music, you need a proper curation of the lineup and pacing of it. And a third thing is cracking venue.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of your ultimate venue, if you could host an event anywhere, where would you host it?
Oh gosh, the moon.
God, there's always someone, isn't there?
I'd be the first one to put a rave on the moon, obviously.
Brilliant. Yeah, great. I can't get the moon on the podcast, Isaac.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Beaver Castle. That would be a phenomenal venue, local to me and ran by the incredible Manners family, Violet of which is a really vocal advocate for the natural world, for heritage within Britain. She's doing a lot of incredible work there. Recently ran for National Trust Committee, and she is the founder of Heritage X. So in terms of people to work with, Violet is an incredible person to work with, and the castle is phenomenal, and it's only half an hour from me. So fuck it, Beaver Castle.
So convenient.
Yes,
and big
Beaver
up
Castle.
Okay, last question then.
Yes.
Your ultimate event. Who are 3 people, can be from all time, who are on the guest list?
Sure. Okay. So Paul McCartney, Freddie Mercury, and Bob Marley.
Wow. Sounds like a party.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You wouldn't walk out alive, would you?
No, probably not. So stats aren't any good, are they?
No.
Well, Isaac, thank you so much for coming on Creative Spaces and sharing all your rings. It's been such a pleasure. I can't wait to put the 3 C's into action.
Again, the pleasure's been all mine. Thank you so much for having me, Ollie.
Thank you for listening to this Snapshot conversation. For more Curated Spaces content, head to our website, Instagram, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.